along down this road with me.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the Speak Project, and I am Tank. And this is the beginning of our series to bring in our project owners so they can discuss how they are going to change the world. And today's topic is very near and dear to my heart because I used to own a corporate wellness company, and our idea, the concept was to actually create healthcare that was genuinely concerned about people's health. What they also call healthcare is managed healthcare, because what appears to be the theme is they want to manage your health. And as a witness to that, this evening I actually got a call about 2 hours ago, and one of my friends, her mother is 73 years old, and as a 73-year-old mother, she is in perfect health, and she has not taken any prescription drugs. So Medicare that she's had, this special kind of gold insurance that she upgraded to, she's been on that for 9 years and never used it because she didn't need it because her health was fine. And lo and behold, Medicare is now going to penalize her for being healthy. So if you ever had a question about whether or not they are trying to manage your health by using insurance companies, right? So if you want to go into the practice of medicine, for the most part, you have to go through insurance at this point. So the healthcare system is not designed to keep you healthy. It's designed to manage what you're able to do with your body and how long you're going to live and your actual health, right? So that is my belief, and we have a very, very impressive doctor who I believe is a naturopath, and I'll let him tell you all about himself because we're calling him Global Guy, but he does have a real name. And this is in part because anybody who knows anything about natural holistic cures is aware that anytime somebody comes out, any kind of holistic practitioner comes out with some amazing cure, they almost immediately disappear, right? They get taken out by somebody, right? Now, this is a brave new world that we're in, and where we are headed, that's no longer going to happen. And we're bringing this information out to the public more and more, and you will hear all types of incredible doctors talk about the things they've developed, from inventions pertaining to free energy that have been suppressed to cures for cancer, cures for AIDS, and the ability to regenerate limbs from scratch, cellular regeneration, all types of amazing things, because those things are coming out mainstream. So, Global Guy, are you there?
I am here, yes.
All right. I am going to call you Dr. G for this call. Is that okay? Do you mind if I call you Dr. G? Because I want people to know you are a professional.
Oh, okay. I can't object to that.
All right, Dr. G. We have now rebranded him. Okay. So, Dr. G, why don't you tell people about some of your experiences? They are extensive and amazing. And you are part of our extended creators network. So tell us about what you're doing.
Well, okay. I did send a brief bio over to your helper there, Lane, who was a very interesting person to talk to. And I guess my interest really, even though I didn't know it, it started when I was in high school. And the brief history is, and there may be a lot of people on this call tonight who have had something else that is similar to that. But my father got cancer when I was in high school. And I saw what they did to destroy his quality of life with chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. And I was, at that age, I was like 13, 14. And it just was obvious to me that there was something wrong there, because the whole health system, as you have mentioned, seems to be upside down and backwards. So
yes, indeed.
I didn't get really involved with it until I was out of college, and I worked for a company. I helped them institute their first non-smoking policy, and it was tough at that time. I would walk around with a squirt gun to put people's cigarettes out. A lot of people didn't appreciate that. But the thing was,
I'm sure they did not.
Yeah, yeah. And so I actually became a professional geologist, and I worked in that field for quite a long time. I worked in the field of specifically seismology, and I came to understand that everything comes to us through frequency and vibration, and it's universal. I mean, when we hear something, it's and we see somebody speaking, that's a vibration that comes to us. Our brain has to interpret it. When we see something, our eyes have to interpret what we see. So everything gets interpreted, and everything out there, it seems, has a signature frequency by which it can be identified just by its frequency. So that's something that caught my attention. Not until I'd been in the field for a while, though, but it really, all of a sudden, it became very apparent to me because of the work I had been doing.
So talk about that a little bit, because, I'm very, very much aware and a big fan of, Rife technology and obviously just these developments. And we all know that, I mean, not all of us, but I guess we should know that everything is vibrating at a frequency. But you're talking about being out in, really connected to nature, working in the field, right? And that you started to see things and realize that everything is a frequency. What is it that you saw that opened your eyes?
Well, let me say one thing here for anybody who's listening that doesn't have a pencil and paper with them. They might want to take notes, because there's some things that I'm going to go through here that they might want to note and take a notation and get more information on it later. So, but I spent a lot of time in nature as a kid and didn't really probably understand more than the average person, but there is a synchronicity in nature that now that I'm older and I've experienced more, I can see it. And there's a synchronicity about everything in life, and some things are in harmony and some things are in discord. And my experience in seismology was basically in terms of blast vibration monitoring. I used vibration monitoring machines to make sure that certain construction activities, including blasting, did not exceed the limits for new concrete that was being poured and for the vibratory limits within nuclear power plants. And that we had machines not only on the refueling decks, we had them in the control rooms, and they were building another nuclear power plant between two existing plants. And so we had a whole crew making sure that when they did major blasting, and I'm talking about 2,000 pounds of explosives going off at one time to break rock for the excavation. We couldn't exceed certain limits that some would trip the plant and it would go offline. Others, like I said, were meant to maintain safe operations and also protect fresh concrete pours, because there was a lot going on at this site at that time. And so when I got out of that work and I first saw my first energy medicine machine, and I realized that this thing was based upon signature frequencies, and I realized that I could actually balance my son's brain waves with this machine. And he had some problems as a youngster, and they were...
Wait. I'm sorry. So, Dr. G, before you jump there, because I think that's a big transition.
There is a transition there, yeah.
So you went from basically monitoring seismic changes with the actual tectonic plates kind of thing, right, in between these two nuclear power plants, which is incredibly ill-advised, obviously, and you were monitoring that, and then you left that field altogether, or you just... Sometime after that, you saw your first energy device, correct?
I was already getting interested in nutritional supplements, all right? And I was, in a way, I was a bit of a health nut, and I didn't understand why people didn't use nutritional supplements. I understood in large part that we have depleted the soil of the ingredients, the nutrients, particularly the trace minerals that we need for our safety and for health in our body. A lot of that work was done by Joel Wallach, Dr. Joel Wallach, who was actually a veterinarian. He, marketed things like Body Toddy and whatever, but he was a veterinarian, and he knew what mineral deficiencies caused various problems that we would label as diseases in animals, and he just translated that information over to people, and it worked very well because a lot of the same deficiencies in animals will create the same types of problems in people. So, it was of interest to me, and in my geology work, I knew and learned a lot about the weathering of rock and how you create soil, and where plants actually transmute inorganic minerals that are in rocks into organic, usable minerals that they absorb, and then we eat the plants, and we get the minerals in an organic form. So that was a very interest to me, and along the line, there are a number of things I learned about using rock dust to remineralize plants, and even the Germans were spraying granite rock dust into the Black Forest to remineralize the Black Forest so that the vegetation, particularly the trees there, could grow better. And I've been using that now for probably 20 years. And
wow.
It's relatively simple in terms of finding a source of powdered rock, and it can be any kind of rock, but a lot of it is granite that has the best ferromagnetic materials, and I'm speaking here of magnetite, which is Fe2O3, two atoms of iron, and Fe2O and oxygen. And so...
But where would you